Today, I'm going to go a little bit deeper regarding the psychology behind um, succession planning. Okay. So, with that being said, I will use myself as an example. Okay. So, when I started, when I decided to take a job with the Army Corps of Engineers back in 1986, um, I would say approximately around 37,000 civilians and soldiers work for the Army Corps of Engineers worldwide. So at that time, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that job because I figured that I would have job security. Okay. And I really did. So the 39 years that I spent with the organization, um, I just moved around from place to place, basically. And so when I first started, hi, psychic medium, how are you? Um, so when I first started out, I was walking through the halls and I would hear the people saying, "Oh, well, this is the way we always done things." Okay. And I'm thinking to myself, "Hi, Vita, how are you?" I was thinking to myself, little did they know that we need to remain flexible and adaptable in any environment that we're in. Because once we get into that fixed mindset that this is the way I've always done it, then that's the beginning of the end, really. So, um, the way I see it now, the way the world is changing, spending all these years within the federal government, and the Army was the last organization to decide to make change within itself. Okay. Obviously, the Air Force at the top of their game. Okay. They are the first, the pioneers. Okay. Then all the other services follow suit. So the military came out with this program and they said, well, we're going to institute this program and we're going to train you how to use it. Okay. And they said, well, and when we're done training you how to use this system, uh, we are going to be eliminating your job. They don't say that specifically, but you can see how the program is set up. That it's doing all of the job duties that you're doing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really good because many years working for the government, I would say, I don't understand why we're doing it this way. It's stupid. Okay. There's got to be an easier way because when you go to the government, there's always bureaucracy and red tape. Okay. So it's like, I would say to myself, being in school, to get my degree, it's like when you look at the way things is run, it's not run efficiently. Okay, because I say to myself, I can do this much more efficiently if I do it this way because I'm a system thinker. Okay, I I I come up with shortcuts and figure out. Okay, I can. You say do it this way, but I figure out there's a shortcut and I can do it this way. So why not work smarter rather than harder? Okay, so the Army is finally figuring that out because they're getting left behind. Okay, because the contractors out there, they're using all these latest tools, all of these computerized systems where we can go out there and get the square footage on this property that we need to modify. Okay, you can have the drawings, everything laid out, showing you where all the pipe penetrations and where all the exhaust system's gonna go and all of this stuff. I love it. Anyways, yeah, so it's better when you have an engineer, they can go out to the field, you take your iPad with you, you can do your inspection right on site. You can call the QA, the QC over here, come here, we have a problem here, we have a conflict. How can we resolve this problem in the field where we can save money rather than go back, talk to and pull everybody in, and then we're increasing the cost and the time of this change when we can mitigate that problem in the field and say, hey, this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to follow up with the paperwork when we get back to the office. Boom. And you'll have the change order and the money will be right in your bank account in a few days. That's how we need to work. So the government is finally figuring all that out. So for people like me, when we first start out, okay, we the best thing since sliced bread. Everybody wants you and everything like that. Okay. But when you get old, like me, I'm 63. I don't consider that old. I still have a lot of gas in the tank. Okay. Trust and believe. So they say, well, Margaret, you're really too expensive, and I can get this job done cheaper. Really, I can hire 2 people for the price I'm paying you. Okay, think about it. And then these days, I don't feel like going to work. I'll call in sick. I don't feel good today. Okay? All right, let these young people go ahead. Y'all got way more energy than I do. Okay? I don't have that kind of energy. Mine is up here. Okay? I'm going to give you the knowledge and the skills so you can go out there. You can run the race. Okay? That's my role now. I'm sitting on the sidelines and giving you the information. Okay? So what we're talking about is the succession here. And so we have to see we have to look at the big picture and see how we fit in. Okay? Because with the situation with the Army, they have a mission. They're gonna get this mission accomplished with or without me. Okay? If they don't have the people, they're gonna call in a brigade. If they have to call in a brigade and have all the soldiers going out there inspecting, doing what they need to do to get this project completed, you got to do that. Okay? I was working on a $400 million runway project. Okay? They don't have no chance to, they can't miss me. They got to get that work done. Okay? And they can't hire nobody else after me right now, but that's their problem. But anyway, we need to look at this succession. So what happened was, like, right before I decided to retire, okay, the organization, they know this change is coming because they started asking questions. They want to know what your productivity rates is. They're looking at the cost of having you sitting there, and seeing, okay, well, how can we get this done quicker, much more efficient? Okay. You can get all these young engineers, get them busy doing this work. They don't know what they're doing, but that's how you learn. That's how we all learn. Okay. But, trust and believe, you better have somebody checking their work and making sure it's fair and reasonable and makes sense. Because if you go take it to a court of law, the contractor will eat you up if you don't have the proper documentation to support all of these things that you should or should not have done. Okay? So, with all of these things being said, we have to chart our own career. Nobody does that for you. Okay? I charted my own career. Okay? I said, I went to school for electronic technology. Okay? It's a degree. What do I care? Okay? It could be popcorn making. It's still a degree. And that degree got me that federal job. Okay? And then from there, I never touched any electronics after that. I was doing surveying, okay? I was doing surveying until they came out with the GPS system and said, hey, we don't need you guys doing topographic surveying or hydrographic surveying anymore because we have the GPS system that can do it much quicker. And we get the coordinates, we get the information to the dredging team when they need it, and they can take all the strikes out. We can make sure we keep the navigation channels clear. Okay, so those ships can come through. Okay, they're coming through with produce and everything that you can think of, bringing it through so we can survive. Okay, so that's what I loved about the Corps of Engineers. That's why, yes. So So what happened was when they came out with that GPS system, I like, oh, I am screwed, okay? Because they eliminated like 30 jobs, okay? They was eliminated, period. It made sense, perfect sense. If I'm a CEO of a company and I got this GPS system and I can get my information in seconds, baby, you got to go, okay? You figure it out. So with that being said, first thing I'm gonna do, if I'm a supervisor, I'm gonna get rid of the dead wood, okay? The people that cause me problems. Oh, you always got something to say. When I ask you to do something, you just can't do it? Oh, baby, you're the first one on my list got to go. Those are the first people that's going to go off my list, okay? Because I'm not going to tell you 2 and 3 times, okay? If you look like you got a problem, then baby, it's time for you to find another job, period. Okay? And so what I did, they was looking for volunteers to go to Iraq. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going because I didn't have much time in at that time. And I'm like, if I don't go now, then I probably will be one of those people unemployed. Possibly. I wasn't going to take that chance. I said, I'll fight another war. I went to Iraq instead. Okay. I said, what? I ain't have nothing to lose. I grew up in Detroit. If I can survive Detroit, I can survive anything. Okay. And apparently I survived Iraq too, since here I am today. So yeah, when I went to Iraq, I was in the southern part, Tikar province. Okay, then I went to Mosul, which is supposed to be really dangerous. Okay, and then in Anaconda in the north, where they found Saddam Hussein in a hole, not far. Okay, so anyway, every time I move, you have to figure out where your place is. Okay, and you make it. Okay. And if you don't know, you volunteer. That's what I know. Volunteer, people are more likely to help you out and help and do things for you. I enjoyed my time overseas more than I did when I came back to the States. I'll tell you why. Because people that are from the state districts, what they do is they take these jobs just like me, and they sit in those jobs and they retire in those jobs. And then they get their kids, their grandkids, they get them jobs through the summer, and then they all come in there together. And it's so like when you go in there, it's like it's a clan album in there. And it's like, damn. It's like, oh shit. So I did everything I can. It's like you go to college, you have to do the initiation, okay, I do the initiation phase. How long that's supposed to last? About a month or so, 60 days. You have to show these people who you are and what you can do and so on and so forth. Okay. After that, okay, am I a member now? Okay. Can we all just get along and just get the work done? Cause I'm here. I got to get the work done, whether you like me or not. It's just better if you're working with people that you're amenable with, that you can groove with, because that way it just makes the work better. It just makes everything better. Morale, the productivity, when you get along with people that you work with, because I've worked in situations where that it was so contentious. When you come in there, you can cut it with a knife. You can feel it. And it's like, oh no, I can't stay here. I can't work like that. Okay. You over here, we all gonna be. No, I can't work like that. So that's why I moved 8 times. You don't have to hit me upside the head for me to realize that this is not the place for me. I feel that very quickly. And then at that point, I start planning my exit plan. Next. Okay. That might take me a year or two. I can't leave right away, because normally when we go in these overseas positions like that, sometimes we get a signing bonus or whatever, and people are not going to bring you in, pay $10,000 or $15,000 to bring all your stuff over, and then you tell them, oh, by the way, I can't fulfill my obligation. I got to go home. They don't want to hear that. I know I wouldn't. They've done that. Some people have done that to them. And boy, when you go back home, don't believe. I mean, you can believe that it's going to come back on you some kind of way. Okay. Some kind of way that's going to come back on you. So I wouldn't want to be in that situation. Okay. So as I was talking about, you going into a place and you coming in as the outsider. That's what happened on my last job. I did everything I possibly could to get along with those people. Okay. Every day I came home, I said, what could I do differently? I just replayed everything in my head, everything. What can I do differently? I did everything I possibly could, and it was still never enough. So I'm like, okay, it's not me. It's not me. I came to that conclusion. So I had to make a choice. And lo and behold, the choice was already being made for me by us having this training that's going to eventually eliminate our jobs. Okay? So since I saw that and saw that they were openly coming for me, harassing and intimidating me, which I was just choosing to ignore, because if you take the bait, then you're giving them the grounds to get rid of you. Okay? So it's like, don't take the bait. How can you not take the bait? Okay, when it's steady coming at you. So I'm like, okay, you won. You won. Okay. I know when I know when it's time to go. Okay. You have to know when it's time to go. And that's the thing. You have to have plans. I hadn't planned to retire until next year, next July. Okay. So that really put me in a very, very bad situation financially. Okay. Not knowing whether my Social Security, how much money I'm going to get in Social Security, or how much I'm going to get in my pension. Okay. But I can tell you one thing, I'm at peace. Okay. Cause I don't have to worry about that supervisor calling me or emailing me anymore. And my blood pressure going up and wondering what in the world did I do now or didn't do to satisfy her. Okay. Cause I can never satisfy her. So the point was, it was time for me to go. And the universe was telling me that. Okay. All right. I have a master's degree. I'm a certified coach. I have 39 years of government experience. It's not like I can't go out there and get another job. But the problem is that when you go to apply for these jobs now, then people say, oh, they're not going to tell you to your face that you're maybe too old or that you're overqualified for the job that you're applying for. That's some of the other things that you have to be concerned with now. Okay. Because then people are intimidated by you and like, they think you want to come in and take their job. It's like, no, I just want a job. So I'm not going through all of that now with all the stuff with the government. Okay. And so it's like, I'm just going to see what I can do on my own. Okay. And that's a whole different set of circumstances. And when we talk about succession, if I had a thought about succession 20 years ago or 30 years ago, I would be in a much better financial situation today. Okay. I would have made better decisions. The decisions we made yesterday of impact the things that we're going through today. Trust and believe. That's why I talk about succession and talk to you about it, because think about these things now while you're still young, while you're still viable, while you still have your faculties, and figure out how you want to set yourself up. You're not just setting yourself up, you're setting yourself up for your children and their children's children, because you see what's happening in the world today. We cannot depend on the federal government. We cannot. I'm just telling you. Okay? Because when I got ready to retire, because I was fed up, the government, the people in Congress is trying to figure out how they can make the remaining government employees pay more in health care. Okay? They trying to figure out how they can make them pay more for this retirement. They want to increase the retirement age probably to 80. Okay? I don't even know if I'm going to live to be 80. Okay? And I really didn't want to get to Social Security because that's going to limit me how much money I can make in addition to all of that. Okay, because if you go over the amount of Social Security that they tell you can go over, you get penalized. Okay, and the student loan people don't give a damn because they still want their money. And by the way, they will garnish your pension and they will take your house. Okay. And I told somebody yesterday, and I was not kidding about this, because when my father shot at me and I left his house, I was homeless. Okay. And I became real humble and real modest. Okay. And real grateful for being taken in after that. So I'm here to tell you, I told somebody yesterday, if push come to a shove, if I have to live in my car, I will do that. My car is paid for. And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, my car is paid for. I could take my car and sell it if I necessarily have to, take that money and put it on my mortgage. I'm going to do what I have to do. If I end up homeless, oh well, because circumstances, it takes one thing can happen to us and make us fall. Okay? I've been homeless and I know I've been there. And if I have to be again, I will be, but I'm gonna die trying, okay? I'm gonna think of everything I possibly can do. I'm gonna dust off my resume, keep it in as well. I'm manifesting, I'm praying, and I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that's not going to happen, that I'm not going to lose my house. Okay. Because my tenant, it said, oh, I'm going to be moving at the end of the month. No, she's moving in the middle of next month. Okay. Because she moved here from Florida. Okay. To get a job. Bless her heart. Okay. To work at the post office. Bless her heart. All right. That's a good job. And so anyway, she wanted to bring her husband and her kid and a dog here. So she gonna move out so she can find a house. I told her when she moved here, girl, there's more people looking for houses than there is inventory. Good luck with that. I would have loved to her to stay until she found a house, but I can't have all that extra. Anyway, so I went on and put my unit back on the market, and I'm praying about it. I know that I'm gonna get another tenant, okay? And in the meantime, I'm gonna continue to do the things that I need to do. So now the thing is, then I was looking at the data as I talked about yesterday. The employment data, it showed at 4.2 overall, okay? 4% for adult men, 3.7% for adult women. But race and ethnicity, it was 3.7% for white, 7.2% for Black, 3.9% for Asian, 5.9% for Hispanic and Latinas. Okay. And I'm like, why is there such a disparity in the numbers? What's happened? Why? Okay. And so it's showing a lot of Black women are exiting the workforce. Okay. Hello. I'm one of those. Okay. And working in the federal government, that's why I stayed there, because I had all these protections all these times. But when we talk about protections, they were slowly taking those protections away. We didn't never have like whatever. We never had that. But we did have collective bargaining. Okay. And Congress found a way to get rid of that, which means that you can look like you're angry and they can fire you, okay? Because I used to tell people, I work for the government. I ain't got to worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I knew people that work for the government, they were crap. They didn't do shit, flat out. But they knew they were somebody's uncle or somebody's brother or something. Oh, you don't touch him. He's so-and-so's brother. And, that's just the way he is. So you just leave him alone over there, okay? Whatever. But me, I no free lunch, okay? No free rides, okay? Whatever. Anyways, I'm just saying it's a lot of nepotism and favoritism in a lot of companies, not just in the federal government, everywhere. And that's part of the problem. Okay. That's why I had to leave these places, because they felt threatened by me, because I'm just coming here for a job, people. I'm just trying to get to retirement. I don't want your job. Okay. I've been in this same position, the same grade. If we want to get technical, this GS-12 position for 14 years. Okay. I can't break through this glass ceiling in this organization. And I know that. I'm just trying to get to the I'm just trying to get to the finish line, okay? I didn't want to change organizations and have to start all over and learn all these new things. I didn't want to go through that. I tell any young person, if you're not seeing any potential, if they're not trying to do anything for you, get the hell out of there, because it ain't gonna get no better. I can tell you that right now. Okay, they'll tell you, oh, well, maybe next year we'll have a little bit more funds. And maybe we can look out for you. Okay, maybe. Okay, your mortgage company, they don't care about all of that. Okay, because the prices is continuing to go up. And you can continue to pay me the same amount of money, yet and still you're gonna come and give me Mary Sue's work. Oh, I see you finished. Here, do her work too. What? What choice do you have? Because once you tell them no, trust and believe, they're going to come for you. They may not come for you that one particular day. They're going to come for you. Oh, yeah, she told me no. I'm hip. I'm going to get her. That's it. That's the beginning of the end. You may as well start looking for another job. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. They want you to quit. So when they get rid of all the people, then they can bring all their computers in and take their fancy computers in and let them work their magic. Okay? Whatever. So most of those jobs were taken by federal job cuts and DEI rollbacks. Let's keep it real. Okay? The majority of us was working in these fields, but who was benefiting from those things? Okay? I know I wasn't. I don't qualify. Okay? Most of us working people, we don't qualify for these things. So who is it? Okay? I'm just saying. It's okay. I'm just making a point. Okay? And then downsizing and dismantling of DEI programs had a significant effect on Black women in the workplace. Okay? Not only that, also automation and displacement. Okay? Also, when they decided, return to work policies, okay, that also impacted the community as well. Because who's going to take care of the kids if I can no longer work from home? And as far as the government concerned, that's your problem, because you're not supposed to be taking care of your kids when you're supposed to be working anyway. Oh, okay. That's what they tell you. Okay. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay. So then you have the additional cost associated with, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay for my kids to be in care while I go to work. And I really can't afford that cost either. This additional cost. Okay, I thought that the federal government was supposed to be giving tax cuts to the families that have this additional childcare costs. I don't know. I don't watch TV. I don't get involved with it because I don't want my energy and stuff taken down. But I'm just using this as examples. And then you have systemic occupational insecurities on top of that. Okay, then you had already planned. Me and my husband, we're gonna take this cruise next year. Okay, it's gonna cost us $5,000. Okay, next week, then you get a letter from your supervisor saying that your job was eliminated. Okay, from all these federal cuts. Okay, that means that vacation, that's not gonna happen. Okay, your child's education fund. How are you going to continue to put money into your child's fund if you don't have a job? Okay? And then one thing, just things keep happening. Then here's the mortgage. How am I going to pay my mortgage if I don't have a job? Then you got, okay, I'm going to go to unemployment and see how much. Okay, well, how much you going to get from unemployment, and how many weeks is that going to take you out, and how long is that going to last? Okay? So all of these things are impacting our community, not just the Black community, because there's dominoes effect to all of that. All the people that you pay, and so on and so forth. So it's weakening our economic well-being, not just on a national level as well. Because all the people that had these jobs and that was going out to all these stores to buy all of these things, these leisure things, guess what? They're not going to buy it anymore because they're not going to have the money. And if they have the money, they're not going to purchase none of those things. They're going to be worried more about the necessities, how much it's going to take for us to eat, how much it's going to take for us to pay these bills, okay? So we don't get our shit cut off, okay? So I just call it like it is, okay? And so what alternatives do we have when we lose our jobs? We have a lot. We have a lot because we're creative. We have an intellect, okay? When we have things that we need to do to sustain us, we get real creative, okay? Like I thought about, oh, I own my car. Push come to a shove, I can sell my car. Okay, but that's going to be a last resort. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Because the other thing we can do is entrepreneurship. So that's creating another situation as well. Okay, you're dumping all these people lost their jobs. Okay, well, then you're going to go to the workforce and people are going to tell you, you know what? I don't know. I don't think so. You know why? Because like I said, I'm too old, or they're going to feel intimidated by me. That I'm going to be trying to take their job. Okay. And they're going to say, oh, you're too qualified for this job. And many of the jobs that you might want to apply for, just to make ends meet, you might be overqualified for. Excuse me. What do they care? If you're applying for a McDonald's job and you got a master's degree, that's me. I'll take that job and to help to pay my rent. Don't think I'm too proud. I am not. Before I be homeless again, okay, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Period. All right. And I'm not gonna be too proud to ask people, because I usually don't ask nobody for nothing because I don't want to be obligated to nobody. Okay, first off. So if I come to you, they're gonna like, damn, she come to me, she must really need it because she don't come to ask nobody for nothing. That's right, I don't, because I'm too proud to beg. That was the Temptations. Anyway, I will ask, okay? Because you will be surprised that people will be willing to lend you a helping hand when they know that you're not that type of person. So like I was talking about, more people are going into entrepreneurship now because they're losing their jobs like me. And I just really don't want to take a chance on no other company right now. Okay. Because if you screw me over, I don't know what I might say. Okay. So it's just best for me to work for myself because I feel good in the morning. I don't have a clock that I have to worry about. Oh, I got to get up. Oh, I'm going to be late. She going to have something to say. I don't have to worry about that. Okay. I start my day. I take my time and I can work the day however I want to. If I feel like going out, I will. If I don't, I won't. Okay. And it's good to have that flexibility when eventually I'll get my pension and Social Security because it's all good. Okay. And we're going to make ends meet. So when you're talking about putting more people in entrepreneurship, we have more coaches out there, much more healers, and this is wonderful because we need everybody because the world is in need of our services. Okay, the world is in need of our services, and I was terrified as all get out today. I'm like, I don't really want to do this live, okay, because I'm an introvert and I don't want to be in front of people. But every time I get in front of people, it gives me an opportunity to show people who I am and what I have to offer. And as a result, I get new subscribers. Okay. I'm not gonna get new subscribers like that behind the computer because you know how many articles that are published on Substack a day? Give me a number. Give me a number. I know how many I get in my inbox. I don't know overall. Okay? How many people do you think actually have time to read our articles? And we put so much love, so much attentiveness in it. And that's why I'm on notes, and then I see something, and then I will definitely, uh, you know, I will restack it because I was new once and I felt like nobody was hearing me. And I was writing my heart out. And it was like it was going to a deep, dark hole. So that's why when I go to notes, I'm like, yeah, if I see something that's good, I'm gonna share it. Okay, I'm gonna add some flames too. Okay, whatever. And because we all should be celebrated for our gifts. And so I tell anybody, okay, I was terrified. I was like, I'm gonna go on this live today because when I'm done, I'm gonna feel good about it. And so every time I do one, it's just gonna give me just that much more confidence and courage because you never know how your message is resonating with people and how it touches people and changes people. And that's the whole point of doing the lives, honestly. Okay, it's like I'm having a conversation with my family today. Okay, and how can I help you? Eugene, Patricia, Nomi, Miss Solvent, out of my mind. Anybody have any questions that you would like to ask? Please feel free. So I wanted to share all of this information with you guys and say that we have choices today. We don't have to accept just anything that people bring to the table. Okay, we don't have to do that, and I'm not going to. Okay, period. Okay, yeah, I made some mistakes yesterday. All right, fine. What lessons did I learn from those mistakes? And how are those lessons going to help me to grow to become the person that I know I can be and I'm going to be? Okay. And I encourage each and every one of you to do a collaboration, whether it's a live, whether it's writing, whether it's audio. It gives you an opportunity to get in front of different groups of people to expose you to for new followers and new subscribers. For example, I was at Nomi's live earlier and she was talking about how they were using Reddit, okay, to get subscribers in Substack. That's why I love to go into other people's lives. It gives you an opportunity to learn new things. Learn new things and meet new friends. Okay? And that's what we're about here. We're about helping each other to rise. Okay? I cannot rise without you rising with me. We rise together. How can I help you rise? Okay? With the skills and the knowledge that I have available, okay? How can I help you to also rise? Because we rise together, okay? Collectively. And that's what I'm here today. And that's why I'm going to continue to do these lives every Tuesday. I'm going to continue to show up and be here for you. I'm here for you. Okay. Um, so do you all have any questions? I thank each and every one of you for attending today and being here, holding space for me. And please feel free to reach out if you're interested in doing a collaboration. I love lives, okay? And now, doing these lives on a regular basis is going to just help to elevate me and get my message out to the world so I can help more people. And that's why we all are here, okay, in this earth, on this earth, is to do that. However you feel comfortable, okay? If it's not alive, then do it another way, okay? But as we know, we cannot put all of our eggs in one basket, okay? Because all of us are content creators here, okay? Maybe your audience is not necessarily here. It could be on Reddit. It could be on Pinterest. It could be on Facebook. It could be on LinkedIn. It could be on TikTok, in addition to Substack. But what I'm saying is never put all your eggs in one basket. I put all my eggs in one basket and I put all my money on that one horse until I lost my job. Okay. But the thing of it is, and while I was working for the government, okay, I got my bachelor's degree, I got my master's degree. The master's degree, which have to pay for $80,000, but nevertheless, I did that because I wanted to, uh, because it's so crowded out there in the work in the world, and I'm like, what can set me apart from other people? Okay, yeah, I got this 40 years of experience with the Army. That's one. Okay, I'm a certified coach. Okay, boom, that's two. Then, okay, three, I got the master's degree. Now I have to show up and I have to do the work. Period. Regardless, you can have a PhD. If you don't do the work, then you don't deserve it. Period. So that's why I'm doing the work now. Okay. And I'm glad to be able to be in this space to do that. Okay. And I wasn't able to do that in my federal job, which I did love until I'll say the last 4 years, I really didn't like it a lot. I was just treading water. I was just trying to get to the finish line next year. Next July would have gave me 40 years of service. And that's what I was trying to get to. But the Lord didn't see that for me to do that because he had something else planned for me. And I embraced that. I embrace it. And I want each and every one of you to embrace your path as well. If you don't know what that path is, then hey, let's sit down and have a conversation about it and figure it out. You know, all it takes is just one step. That's all. And then you're on your way. That's it. And with that one step, it gives you the confidence and the courage to persevere, knowing when you look back at your life. When I look back at my life and I'm like, oh no, I can't go back to that life. That was a life of abuse, of turmoil, of hurt and pain. I'm not going back to that life. Okay. So what's in front of me has to be better. Okay. It has to be better than what I left behind. And that's what gives me the encouragement to persevere. I don't care who says otherwise. I'll show them differently. Okay. Period. Failure is not an option. I didn't get this far to fail. Okay. And I'm not going to, and you're not either. That's why you're here. Cause you're not going to fail. Oh, okay. Cause you're going to keep trying. You're going to keep trying and you're going to figure out what works. That's what we have to figure out. I never did this stuff before. Okay. I'm like, oh, I did this. Oh, I won't do that again. Okay. That was messed up. Okay. All right. What lesson did I learn from it? Don't beat yourself up about it. Okay. Move on. Okay. This is what I learned from that experience. I won't do that again. This is what I'll do instead. That's what I do every day. Every day I'll sit down and do my personal inventory. Okay. As an AAR. Okay. After action review every day at the end of the day. What did I do that I could have done better? Period. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. My mother is over here doing that, and my father was over here doing that, and I'm like, okay, period. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow, okay? And that's what we have to do. That's what I did my whole career, and that's what we have to do as entrepreneurs too, okay? Same thing. Nobody had this shit figured out from the beginning. You know, these marketing experts, bless their heart. They know their job, okay? And I give them 100%, okay? But each of us is different, okay? And the way they do it may not be the way that resonates with us. I'll say it that way. Maybe you need to do it a different way. But as long as you're getting the results that you want, the ends justify the means, in my opinion. Okay. So again, life is a learning process, trial and error, just like job, just like entrepreneurship, like anything else. If you don't try, you never know what you can or cannot do. Okay. And one thing, don't put can't in, take the word can't out of your vocabulary. There's no such word in my vocabulary. I can't. I'll say, I'll try. Okay. That's a better word. Okay. Because when you say that, it puts it in the universe. Okay. And that comes back to you. And I believe in the laws of attraction. So even if I don't believe it, somebody say, I don't believe in saying fake it till you make it. Whatever. I'm going to say it. I'm going to believe it. I'm going to say it. And then when I say it, it becomes, okay, say it. I'm going to do this. Don't say I don't think I can. Don't say that ever. Say, I'm going to try. I'm going to put forth an effort. Say that instead. You will have much better results in life by saying that. Even if you come to your boss and you know she's going to tell you this, that, and the other, I'll try. You know damn well you can't do that shit. I'll tell her I'll try. Whatever, okay? Never say I can't, okay? Period. For real. That has gotten me out. They're like, she'll come back. You can't do that. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do then? I'll put it back on her. Okay, well, what can I do then? There you go. Always leave yourself an out. Okay, don't leave yourself backed in without a way out. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Working for the military, when I go into a building, I want to know that there's 2 exits, not one. If there's only one exit, I'm not going in there. Okay, you get the capacity over the capacity, and people start, something happen, you get a stampede, and people no. I want to know where the exits are at, and I'm never going to have my back to the door. Period. Growing up in Detroit, you never know how your back to the door and where are the exits. Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions at all, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm gonna do these lives every week. I hope I didn't wasn't off point too much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys at the next one.